everybody, and welcome back to the Cinefile. Today, Jake and I are going to be talking about our thoughts on the new Christopher Nolan movie, Oppenheimer. Jake, I know you went and saw this. Did you see this in IMAX, and was it worth a watch in IMAX? What do you think?
Yes, I did see this in IMAX, and yes, you have to watch this in IMAX. This movie, I have so many thoughts about this movie. It's
You have so
stunning.
many thoughts.
Yes,
Period. Yeah.
I have a big brain, but that's only because I have a big head. Um, just ask my mother about that.
I'm an anti-smooth brainer. I've got the most wrinkly brain of all time. Kind of like J. Robert Oppenheimer.
Yes, that this movie is just so good. It's visceral, it's raw, it's emotional, it's I have a hard time saying this because he's still a working filmmaker, and I think you get better with every movie you make. But a lot of people are saying this is Chris Nolan's magnum opus, and I don't know how he can get better than this. I mean, this is why you go to the theater to watch movies, and that's why you have to see it in IMAX. Like it is meant to be seen on that huge screen with that great sound system. This is a movie not just to be watched, but to be experienced. It's a movie. I mean, Chris Nolan, we know he loves to turn up the sound system and make it really loud. But this is a movie you feel at times, physically and emotionally. It's full of great performances. I mean, Cillian Murphy, bravo.
Yeah.
Cillian Murphy will never see this video, but if you ever were, bravo, sir. Like,
Oh,
one of the
absolutely.
best pieces of acting I've seen in a while. This People keep asking me what I think of the movie, and I've said two things every time. One, it's the movie of the year, and I stand by that. And two, I think this might be the best movie I've ever seen in a movie theater. It is that good. You have to go
Mm.
see it. It is such a complex story that's told in such a beautiful way, told by a wonderful filmmaker with a spectacular cast from top to bottom. The score is great. The the visuals are incredible. The edit is spectacular because it's able to take Chris Nolan's wacky, wild jump around filmmaking style and stitch this narrative together and to make it seamless and to make it flow in one big, giant, beautiful arc. So I cannot say enough good things about this movie. You go see a lot of movies multiple times in theaters. I have never, ever, ever done that in my life, and I might do it with this movie.
You've never seen a movie multiple times in a theater?
Nope.
Well, this makes me question so much.
I might do it for this one, though. It is that good.
Yes, I wholeheartedly agree. So, as many of you know, I work at a movie theater. So, I get to see bits and pieces of this movie a lot. And anytime I walk in during any scene, it is so compelling. It is so compelling that I almost want to stop and watch and just watch from there on to the end. But visually, um, the color grading, I loved the color grading.
No.
I know that sounds really weird, but I really liked the color grading. Um, the performances are spot on. Robert Downey Jr. I loved him in Chaplin.
Mm-hmm.
And I know he got an Oscar nomination for Tropic Thunder, which is wild. But this may be his best performance because he kind of like we talked about when we talked about Rear Window, the idea that he almost was typecast in a way as Iron Man, and then he comes out as this antagonist of the movie that you don't expect.
Mm-hmm.
And it is such a powerful performance, but hands down, every single person that has a line of dialogue in this movie nails it.
Yeah.
I mean, they really bring they do a great job of adding to the tension that has been built through the way in which the story is told, through the editing, through the score, through the sound mix, through the direction. It all flows so well. Is it long? Yes. Is it a little too long? Maybe. But especially when you're trying to tell somebody's story, And you're not just approaching it as this is the creation of the atomic bomb, but this is J. Robert Oppenheimer's story.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that's why it's called Oppenheimer and not Oppenheimer makes a bomb. Oof. You know, I don't know what it would be called. But it is so interesting to see somebody rise to such heights and then be brought down so low. And I am just in awe, not only of how it looks, but just like you said, how it was crafted, how it was edited. Some people said that they felt that people that I've talked to felt like the edit was too quick. Like we only were on different shots for moments. But even if that were the case, and I need to watch it again to like really look and say, okay, is it really like that? But that adds to the tension.
Yeah.
Because when you understand the pressure that the United States was under, not just to end the war, but to do it before the Nazis did it,
mm-hmm.
that pressure is heightened or emphasized through the edit.
Yeah.
So I just thought it was just spectacular. I'm a sucker for true stories.
Yeah.
I also appreciated the way in which Oppenheimer's story was told from two different angles. Mm-hmm. It was at points told by Strauss's character. Mm-hmm. And that's all in the black and white, which the black and white IMAX, they had to develop that camera, which was very cool. Or through Oppenheimer himself, and that's told through color. But just to see the way in which two people can recall the same events or tell the story in different ways, I think is fascinating. Yeah. And it's just, there's so much tension because even Strauss's character, you could say, okay, well, maybe he doesn't have a lot of tension to that, the way in which he's telling the story. But because he's up for a cabinet position and he's kind of being interrogated there, there's that tension of wanting to make sure he gets the position. Yeah. So it's like built in on every level. And it's spectacular.
Yeah. I agree, wholeheartedly. This is just, it's almost hard to put into words how magnificent this movie is. You bring up the runtime, and yes, I'd say there may be like 15 minutes you can find somewhere to cut. But I think you need almost that full 3 hours because so much happens and the weight of this story is so much. You need that full 3 hours to like not feel overwhelmed. I think like this teeters on overwhelming the audience, but is able to like pull back from the cliff at the right moment. So I think if you're scared of the 3 hour runtime, I would say it doesn't feel like 3 hours. So don't be too afraid of that.
Yes, like do the right thing. Go to use the restroom right before the movie starts. Yes. And then you'll have to use it at the end.
Yeah.
But you're absolutely right. This is something that deserves. The story is at its full height when it's shown in a theater.
Yeah.
Because of the score, because of the audio mix.
Yeah. And another thing, don't be intimidated by, I don't know that much about science. This does a really good job of explaining the sciencey parts in a way that's important to the story without getting bogged down in those details. So I've heard from some people like, I don't understand nuclear physics. I'm like, not a lot of people do. So don't worry about that because it doesn't get bogged down in that. And one last thing I want to say before we go, I have to highlight Emily Blunt's character.
She's
so good. So good.
Yeah.
Like,
she
unexpected, but the more I think about that character, the more I love her performance.
Yeah. I mean, she's like stone cold, low key. And she does a great job in the movie. Absolutely. Yeah. So overall for me, this is a C in theaters. This is a C on the biggest screen, preferably IMAX. It is well done. It might not be the thing that you go, I usually go and see kind of action films in theaters, and I don't usually see biographies or biopics or something like that. No, go and see this one. Trust me. It is worth a watch in theaters. Is it a date movie? Yeah, I'd say so. The amount of people that I've seen bring their girlfriends to, like the guys that brought their girlfriends to Oppenheimer, just shows me there's so much promise.
Yeah.
From a dating point of view. But
Oh
yeah,
my
no,
gosh.
highly recommend this. But the question really is for you folks: have you seen Oppenheimer? What did you think of it? Was it too long? Do you agree with us that it needs to be seen in the biggest screen possible? How's that audio mix for you? Did you actually catch what they were saying, or did you want subtitles? Let us know all of your thoughts in the comments down below. If you like this video, hit that like button. If you want to see more from us, make sure to hit the subscribe button, ringing that bell to get all notifications on upcoming content. Down the pike, we've got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that is about to drop. I know I'm going to go see that. I don't know if Jake's going to. We'll have to find out. But until next time, for Jake Biller, I'm Ben Sparrow. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you back here next week. And cut.